You bastard.
Didn't you know?
Bastard,
Did you know that
fucking bastard.
you can't cuss anymore? It's real.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
No.
Well, I don't fucking care.
Balls.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Now I won't get monetized on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, buddy. How
As
much
long
money
as
will you
don't
make
say
on
the C
YouTube?
word, it'll be fine.
Literally.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
jack
you know, okay. Apparently, you can use the C word. You just can't use it to refer to like.
Anybody?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh
Which
yeah.
is kind of yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this one. I found
Wait,
out that
boy.
the music software I use has made
Oh.
mixes. So now
Oh, that's crazy.
I get to use like hour-long mixes of a type of music that will probably shift into something that is going to be awful. So we'll see. Because the
Open
music
up
is
that
very
box,
varied on
really?
here, and so I worry that I'm going to play something and it's going to be super sad, and then it's going to like ba-da-dum bum ba-da-dum bum ba-da-da-da-da-da-dum.
Hey, if it happens, it's a moment of levity. It's funny, you know.
Yeah.
It's true.
All I need
Oh, I
is
saw that 19. You bitch.
It balls.
today
You're getting
we
the bad
have
rolls out.
4.
I am getting. God, I
have
am getting
four.
the bad rolls out of the way. What the hell?
Today we do have 4.
Oh.
That is true. And this
We
is
have
so.
4.
This is so sad. Alexa, Despacito.
Alexa, give me Despacito.
Alexa, give me Despacito.
Just give me Despacito.
What are you rolling for?
Sucks again. Oh my god.
Despacito.
What?
Despacito.
Despacito. Wanna. I can't speak Spanish. It would be horrifically offensive if I tried.
I can speak Swedish, barely.
Yeah.
That's
Hey.
cool.
Yeah. What's it called? I know very basic phrases.
Oh, fuck, that flew all the way over there.
I'm trying to think. I wish that I knew the term for Dungeons and Dragons. I do not, though.
Yeah. Oh,
What is
let's
the
see.
meaning of Dungeons and Dragons?
I
Sephi.
don't know.
Sephi, lock it.
C and Ellie.
No.
No, have you been told?
Probably
Speaking of Sephi, have you been told Sephi's like
I
headcanons for how
can't believe-
languages?
Oh,
Kovac
yeah.
is canonically Quebecois.
Yeah, Kovac is Quebecois French. That's how Orcish sounds when he speaks it, and that's fucked up to me. But that
I-
means I can quote my favorite TikTokers when I say Quebecois.
Quebecois.
It's so funny.
What else? What's
It's
the
so
Hold on. I'm gonna DM you, Sam, because I do not think I could say this on stream.
I'm That's so fair and reasonable. I also would want you to
God.
be cautious.
So if I were to draw Kovac,
Pregnant.
No, please. Oh my god.
I want to draw him happy.
That would be out of character and I would berate you for it.
I would berate you for it. That's
No, I'm
More
kidding.
or less
wild.
so than the last drawing I proposed.
I'm not a crazy fandom, like, you know, I'm not one of those people in the fandoms, you know, where they're like, you have to abide by the canon representation, otherwise I'll kill you, and it's like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Well, most fandoms were like when I was like 14.
It literally.
That's what
But
they're
yeah.
still like today.
Is
Yeah.
Kovac pregnant?
Stop talking.
Fucking Gigante meme.
Stop talking.
Can pregnante. You know what's really weird is without Bubble being here, we're still symmetrical.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we're not symmetrical in spirit.
It's
Right.
true.
Shout
Don't
out to
worry about
Bubble,
it.
we miss you.
Shout out to Bubble. I'm sorry that you're.
Shout out to Bubble.
Shout out to
Bubble, come
Bubble.
home. Kiss
They're in
you.
Japan.
I like do that
Yeah,
thing where
dox
I like,
him.
hit my chest and then like peace sign.
Japan's a pretty good country.
It's a pretty small country. I think there's like 2 people in it. One of them is
Oh,
Bubble.
that's crazy. But who's the other one?
One of them is Bubble.
And the other one is Goro Majima from the Yonkers or Like a
Goro
Dragon
Majima.
series.
The...
Hideo Kojima's also there, but we don't. He's there.
No,
I was
he's
gonna
in-
say
he's in Hollywood.
Araki, which was fucking the creator of JoJo. Man, I guess there are like 4
Oh.
people there.
No, Goro Majima from the hit game series Yakuza / Like a Dragon.
Game.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if I get a 1, someone will die. Oh, that was close.
Okay, anyways.
Oh, fun
What's
fact,
up?
gang! I've just got the hiccups. That's super cool.
I'm sorry.
You're
Get
okay.
over it.
You
I'm
gave it. Oh,
sorry.
interesting how that works.
Just get over it.
Hey, Sam, what is the shape of that one country? I think Rome conquered it at one point or another.
I don't know, actually.
It's Italy and it's a boot.
I was gonna say.
That is it.
I was gonna fucking say, like, the first thing that came to mind was Italy because it's the shape of a boot, and I was like, oh, that's a fucking stupid answer.
It's Italy.
The fact that I genuinely
That's
couldn't
my
fucking
fault.
tell what you were talking about either
It's
is the funniest part.
It's Italy and it's a boot.
Yeah,
Oh, he
thanks,
got the boot. I get it.
Yeah, now you're getting
Shasta.
it.
Thanks, Shasta.
So, I went to college.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I actually think I need like a carbonated drink or I'm gonna die because my hiccups are killing me. So I'm gonna get that. It'll take 2 seconds.
Then go do that
One.
and smile.
2.
It's okay, Cobalt. You can leave. I know you hate me and you want me dead. But
Okay, well, see, depending on how the conversations go, right?
yeah.
Kavok might snap a little bit.
Oh boy.
But- Yeah, at everyone, but
Yeah.
that will only happen if there's a specific level of emotional manipulation attempted.
Okay, but yeah, no, I don't think that the party would do that willingly.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like I'm saying, I don't think he's gonna need to crash out, but he's ready.
So I was making a joke, like, I was gonna make a joke out of character where I was gonna be like, I'm gonna put the waterworks on for this. Cassian would never. He would never. I want that to be.
Oh, it's just gonna poke him in the forehead and be like, "Stop crying."
Just flicks the motherfucking forehead.
Yeah, literally. Doink,
Doink.
Oof.
doink.
Pardon me.
Your pardon.
Pardon.
of all your
Kovak
sins.
Majima.
Kovak Majima.
I'm from the hit game series.
I absolve you of all your sin, and it's like the explosive, like, pulse wave.
Yakuza.
Oh, the digital. I know exactly
You
what
have been
video you're
forgiven.
talking about.
Digital sin forgiveness.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
all left.
We will go ahead and start. Which is, ooh, excuse me. Someone give me a recap.
Hold your breath.
Yeah, hold your
Jester.
breath for a
And
very
also-
long time.
Stop
then
breathing
drink as
for like
much as you
2
can.
minutes.
Actually,
Oh.
Dust, if you hiccup again, I'll give you $5.
I don't want to take money from you.
Anyways, Ellie, Shasta, one of you recap. Smile.
Oh, okay. So shit's fucked.
Tried to take a drink, you motherfucker.
Let's see. So the Trials of Ard are over. We leave the Trials of Ard. We're pretty fucked up. So Kovak and Krakow go to get some traps from the cave, right? The cave where Nilro was chilling out. They managed to get some traps. Amaya and Mop are talking about sporks. Then we go hang out with our good buddy, that guy. What's his name? I can't remember. Cassian. You know, he starts pulling up crabs. And Mop becomes a crab. Detroit become a crab, and
Grab.
and then the boat comes and picks us up finally. Yay! It turns out that we all hate each other actually, and so Kovak is going to leave. Unless we could try to convince him otherwise, probably not.
Worth a shot.
So yeah,
That's a somewhat accurate recap. I will give you a what's it called?
I mean, I don't know about hating everyone. It's really just one person. However,
XOXO Gossip Girl.
You leave,
XOXO.
you leave Pookie out of this, all right? Fuck.
Yeah. Anyways,
That's
Oh,
my
man.
bitch.
And so
I've prepared for all the contingencies of how the session can go, and the crash out is definitely on the table.
Okay.
Love a good
So-
crash out shot.
So we come in. The boat begins to dock on the shore of Newport. Jesus Christ, calm down, music. It got real loud for a second there.
It's a vibe for music today, Dust. I can't listen in, but I want to get my own music
Drama.
up.
It's called
it's a vibe.
drama mix. Tense.
What the fuck?
It's very tense.
Oh, okay.
Music that raises your blood pressure.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
But it's more somber than stressful, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The boat will pull into the docks of Newport. The sun is setting, but it is bizarre. It feels less like a beautiful ending, or, you know, sitting with your friend while watching the sunset, and feels, oh my god, is that Bubble?
Bubble!
Hey!
Yo, time, let's
Bubble
go.
made it!
Okay.
There we go. But it feels more along the lines of a... I need to put your name tag back. Nope, wrong name tag. That's for Zach. There we go. It feels more along the lines of... I don't know. I've always described this feeling like this, so tell me if you don't get it. But a Thursday in winter at 2 p.m.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it feels like right now as you are pulling into the docks. It is almost dark, still quite bright, but in the next hour or so it will very quickly shift to not that. And Captain Sidarna will call out to you all to get going, so to speak. But I will leave... Mostly this is up to y'all, what happens from here.
Yeah.
You know that the scribe is waiting in the caravan along with Foylan on the edge of Newport near Manor Black. Or no, it wasn't that edge. It was fine. We're not gonna worry about it. And what's it called?
We remember where we left.
You remember where you left off. And you have the new goal of heading to the Talons, but there are things that require priority. So I will leave that. I'm just gonna open up to you all.
So we haven't
where's
docked just yet. Like we're almost there.
If you would like that to be the case, we can do that.
I honestly am fine either which way. I think. I mean, that's kind of depend. Do we want it to be that they've docked or that they're about to? Executive decision. We've docked.
Yeah, they've docked.
Yeah, we're docked.
And the entire time while they're waiting for the ship to dock, Kovak is already waiting above deck at the exact point where the what's it called? There's a word for it.
Mm-hmm. I
But,
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, where the boarding plank is meant to be lowered. He's waiting for it, and when the ship docks, he very, very nonchalantly just seems to get right onto it and just start walking.
Motherfucker.
Mop will quickly tail Kovak just for a moment and say, Kovak! Just a minute, please. Just a minute of your time.
Cass follows Mob.
Crackletooth is also following.
I think Kovak still has like he still has the heavy crossbow like slung against his shoulder, because he doesn't have a strap for it yet, so it's very awkward to hold on to at the minute. I think he's just gonna stop.
Are you for sure leaving?
Yes.
Okay, well, I can't make you stay, can I?
And I think his eyes pointedly sort of go from Mob to. Where is Amaya right now?
She's probably the last one out of the group off the boat. Actually, hold on. I'm doing an attitude roll.
Oh no.
She's
Roll for bitch.
trailing behind, but she's distant from the rest. And she's just has her arms crossed and she's not really saying anything. She's just looking.
Yeah, and I think his gaze sort of flags from Mop over to Amaya. No, Mop. There's nothing you can do.
Okay. Mop will reach into her pocket and hand Kowak a little bit of money and say, "That's for trail mix."
That's a,
Of course, you probably should pick some up. They probably got somewhere to buy some granola or something around here, and oats, and other such grains of sorts. Maybe
Yeah.
a couple of little sweets to put in there, little chocolate.
Is she like holding it out in like an open
Yeah.
palm?
Yeah, she's holding it out with both her palms.
Koak's just gonna reach over with one big hand and is just gonna close Mop's own fingers around their own coin. I have enough money. Don't
Oh.
worry.
doesn't Kovac have Mop's money too?
No, that's been given back to Mop.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I
no.
just wanted to make sure.
Well, well then, can you take something from me at all?
And he kind
Mop
of
will-
yeah, the pause is in character.
Mop will give Kovac the potion of greater healing, or greater healing, superior healing. Yeah.
He's also going to very pointedly just say, he just waves in. Mop, no, I can't. If you need to give me something. But he's sort of like just, he's paralyzed for a little bit.
Mop will just go on and hug his leg, just real tightly.
There's a moment you can kind of tell.
Can I
that
give you
he's-
this?
You can tell there's a moment that he's chewing on the underside of his lip, inside of his mouth. This is not something that he's doing lightly. But he's going to just put a hand on Mom's head and sort of just run his hand over it. So it's sort of like a pat.
I'm going to do something very sneakily.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to put something in his pocket.
Roll side.
And we...
Kovac
I was gonna
roll
say, can we contest
perception. You both-
Actually,
You both have a plus
Argyle.
0. Okay.
Okay,
Argyle.
alright, you've got Argyle.
Argyle can help.
I will. Yes, Argyle will help me. Sleight of hand.
Oh, fuck, okay.
You're sh-
Let me one moment. You can't see Craggletooth anymore.
I can't. I'm on my laptop.
That's crazy.
Take it. I've cleared it. You should be able to grab her again.
No,
Grabbletooth.
again.
Grabbletooth.
But yeah, well, what's the little mop?
Here we go.
Mop is putting the ring, the spell holding ring.
The ring is spell storing.
Aw.
Yeah.
Are there any spells in it? Because it can
There are
hold
spells in there.
up
I
to
believe
level
there is
5.
I want to say there's like a 3rd level Dragon's Breath in there.
Okay.
Yeah, you said there was a 3rd level Dragon's Breath and I think a
2 level Mind Whip or something.
Got you. Okay. 2 level minor 3. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
hang on. It's in my notes.
Oh, wonderful.
3 Dragon's Breath, 2 Mind Whip.
I have
Okay.
moved it over.
God, that's fucked up. But yeah, no, he's definitely not going to notice. But he is going to just continue to run his hand through Mop's non-hair.
My pointy little scales.
Yes.
I'm like a pangolin.
Is going to. You're gonna take a deep breath. He's gonna keep walking, but he's gonna let Mop hold onto his leg if she really wants to, and he's just gonna like have to heave his leg with each step.
You make sure you eat at least twice a day, maybe 3 times a day, if you really can, and make sure to brush your teeth and comb your hair, and don't forget to bathe. Skeeters love it whenever you bathe, though, so be careful wherever you bathe. Careful for leeches. Look out for ticks. Check yourself for ticks every so often, and Mom will just keep going in that sort of line of, speech.
Just as they're walking through the streets of Newport, there's a half-orc slugging around with this kobold attached to his leg, giving him life advice. But I think
Don't
if
don't pay for horse insurance whenever you rent.
yeah, it's a scam.
It's a
All right,
scam.
Janet. Okay, Janet, calm down. But I think if Mop, I'm not going to make you roll for it, obviously, but if Mop really pays attention to his just general demeanor and his body language, he is really not happy with the fact that he's doing this. However, there's a conviction. It's not like a hesitation because he can be convinced otherwise. It's a hesitation because this sucks, but has to be done.
But okay.
But he's still going to try and lug them over to the caravan, unless anyone else wants to stop him in the streets of Newport.
I want Cass
Not
to
in the
talk to
streets of
Kovak, but I'll wait until, because I'm assuming Kovak is going to be like leaving once they hit the caravan, right?
You're gonna go to the caravan, pack his things, and say goodbye to the scribe, and then dip.
Okay, I'll have Cass talk to him eventually then. When we
That
get
makes
there.
sense. Yeah, we're headed for the caravan first.
I figure.
We blow it up.
What?
I
This
can
guy.
help with that.
Well, you said that you're just gonna head over there and you're gonna most likely talk when you get there.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yar.
You will do so. You will make your way through Newport. Pardon me. And you will find the caravan sitting on the north sort of entrance, I guess exit from this perspective, into the city, wherein you can see Biscuits hanging out on the front, just kind of sitting there, as well as Foylin poking his head out of one of the windows. Who will look and will see you, Kovak.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna make eye contact with the dog and kind of vibing the fact that Waylon can understand him and his thoughts at the very least. When he tries to communicate them, he's going to say, "I'm sorry, but we've got to," like mentally, not verbally, but it's, "I'm sorry, but we've got to go."
His ears will drop slightly, but he will. He's not gonna nod because he's not a person. But
Yes.
his sort of playful demeanor when outside of combat will kind of just like disappear. And he'll look a lot more serious, and he'll just start sort of clattering to the entrance of the caravan, planting himself in the front. Speaking of which, I will put you all in the caravan hills for now.
Okay.
Caravan, I missed you.
I have
My
only
sweet, beautiful baby caravan.
I have only been on the caravan hills one time.
New
I was gonna
caravan
say,
map?
what happened to my marsh?
You guys aren't in the
I
market.
eated it. I got hungry, smile.
I can't believe you
Argyle.
needed it.
Biscuits token!
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah!
there's a token. I'm just gonna put you all outside plant yourself wherever you deem fit.
Except for Argyle. Hi, Argyle.
Argyle's inside for some reason. He's hanging out.
Is Kovok so fucking big?
Because he's huge.
I can't move. Why
Yeah,
can't I
well,
move?
Willow did it.
I can move.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, why
I
the
think
fuck is
that's-
Kovok so fucking big?
I don't know. I look normal sized.
Yeah,
I
Kovok
think
looks
it's.
Yeah.
normal sized.
Yeah.
I think it's because you're looking at a new profile picture. You've got like.
No. Oh, wait, yeah, because it is the old profile. Look, I'm gonna send it into the Enchant chat, but, like, Kovok's fucking huge. Look at this.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's even funnier. No, lore accurate.
Not what I
combo.
saw.
No, I'm looking at my normal self, but no, I think at this it's kind of.
Did you shake?
You're the same size as Foylan, holy shit!
Did you
I was
shake
gonna
Mom
s-
off yet?
I was gonna say this is probably at the point where he's going to sort of just stop and he's going to put his hand back on Mob's head and say, "Mob, please let my leg go."
Okay. And Mob will step back. You have a way to let us know if you need anything. And now you have to tell me something.
Fuck. God damn it. And he's going to. Yeah, again, he's going to pause. And he's going to reach into one of his back pockets and is going to pull out a familiar looking scroll. It's the Scroll of Sending.
Mhm.
Still
That's
has
only
that.
one time use.
It's still something.
Okay.
But he's just going to show it them up and then put it back and sort of just pointedly climb onto the caravan. He's over to the door, swing it open, and then he's just going to stop at the door.
I think Craggletooth will be following him.
He hasn't noticed.
Okay, good. I mean,
I think there's that sort of awkward moment of eye contact. Is like you've come home really late and your dad caught you in the act of like returning so late, and he just kind of looks at the scribe and kind of just averts his eyes for a moment.
He'll stare at you for a brief second, but will move out of the way. He doesn't want to be in your way. We'll just start to walk. Let me move Argo.
Thanks, Argyle.
Yeah, he just sort of
is out here actually.
just sort of slinks past, heads for the room, starts to pack his things away. It's not too much of it and whatnot, but yeah.
I think at this point, Craggletooth will come in and go over to her things as well, and start stuffing, like, she also doesn't have a lot, funnily enough, but she'll start stuffing them in her pockets, or her single pocket, actually.
Damn.
He's going to look over at Craggletooth.
She doesn't seem to notice. If it weren't a somber mood, you could almost assume that she'd be like whistling nonchalantly. But she's not.
What are you doing?
And she'll pause at that and kind of like look over her shoulder at him. I'm going with you, obviously. What do you think I'm doing?
There's a moment where he closes his eyes and he grits his teeth. Obviously, not all of his teeth, because if he did, his tusks would be. Anyway, you get the idea. But yeah, it's a deep breath in, and there's a deep breath out. Craggletooth, no. You can't come with me.
Last I checked, I did have free will, so Craggletooth, yes, actually. She puts like a shirt in her pocket. The edges of it are like laying out of her pocket. It's a
Unfolded
haphazard
shirt.
job.
You do free will, but I have to do this myself. I can't I can't do this with anyone else. I'm sorry. I know you, at least, have my best interests at heart. I really don't know about. And he sort of trails off, but quickly, catches himself.
At that, she'll fold her arms a little bit, well, not a little bit, very stubbornly, and she'll frown a little bit. And so you don't have to trust. She pauses and gestures with her head towards where the others are. But I mean, you can trust me, can't you? Can you just say that? Also, I'm very capable in these sorts of things.
That's why you have to stay with them. You know how the other two are, at least. They're not going to kill something that needs to be killed. You need to be there to pull the trigger when it matters, but I also need to do this for myself, okay? I love you and I appreciate you, Crackletooth, but he just sort of lets the silence sit. He can't really think of anything else to say in that moment.
She'll look down and keep her arms folded, but you'll see. Hang on, I gotta do a thing. Oh, beautiful. Wait, why was that athletics? Hang on, wrong one. That would have been great, but no. For some reason, my FOV is super tiny, so. There we go. Okay.
Really good.
I know. You'll see her ears drop, slightly, and they stay there for just a moment before they kind of raise back up. You can pretty clearly glean that it's like a. She doesn't necessarily want to show everything that she's feeling, but she's definitely not pleased. And where she's standing, she'll kind of lean back against the bed and stare at the ground. And after a moment or two, she'll speak up and she'll say, "I don't want you to go."
I know. I have things that I have to deal with. Once they're gone, who knows? But
And what happens if those things deal with you? And at that, she'll look up.
that's all the more reason why I can't have you come along. Because, Crackletooth, I know you have a family out there somewhere. I don't know where they are. I don't know if you know where they are, but you obviously wanted us to try to find them. And
Her ears drop at the mention of her family.
I want you to be able to find them. And I want you to be able to be there for them. Because I tried to be there for mine. Because of them, he kind of doesn't elaborate on what he means by that, but she can probably glean that he means the Fae. I don't have that luxury anymore.
She'll start to say something, but the words will, I think, die in her mouth, and she'll just look down, and after a small moment, you'll you'll hear a very small sniffle, and a hand will go up to wipe some snot away, and she'll kind of like clear her throat.
Yeah. He's going to go over to Crackletooth. Is she standing on her bed? Is she on the floor? Where is she?
She's standing on the floor, leaning back against the bed. Her head comes up like just barely over it, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's gonna crouch all the way down.
she'll look up to him.
And he's just going to give her a hug.
She will freeze for a moment. And he'll feel the tension in her shoulders, in honestly everything, really. And then all at once, she will basically collapse into him, and her arms will wrap around him very tightly, and he'll feel a couple of shakes and a little bit of something wet trailing down his, like, spreading through his cloak.
I think he's just gonna hold on to that for, I guess, as long as Crackletooth is able to. But then again, he doesn't want to leave himself open to the idea that she then thinks, yeah, this is how I'm going to keep him here. So eventually he will let go, but he's going to try and outlast Crackletooth at the very least. But
I think there's a beat or so as she's crying, when she kind of takes a shaky breath in and then lets it out, and probably nobody else, even if they were in the same room, would be able to hear, but because she's so close to Kovak's ear, and because Kovak is so close to her, then Kovak is able to hear, where just barely under her breath she says, "I'm scared."
it'll be okay. You're one of the smartest and quickest people I've ever met. If anything terribly bad happens, I know that you can get out of it. Proven that to be before. But
But what if you can't?
I'll be careful.
Her tears come a little bit harder.
I'm not as big an idiot as I was when you first met me. I'm a lot more cautious now, I want to think. I promise I'll be careful.
She doesn't really let go of him, but she'll turn so that her head is like kind of facing him, so she can kind of see him out of the corner of her eye, and she asks, "Will I ever see you again?"
Once those other three are gone, dead and buried, then yes, you will. But I can't. Like I can't. Just I need them gone before anything.
She swallows for a moment and holds Kovak's gaze, and there's a lot of layers to her expression. I think from what Kovak would see, it's a little bit of like there's obviously the distress, there's confusion, there's a little loss, sadness, of course, and she'll sniffle again, and then lean into Kovak again, holding him tightly, because he is one of the closest things that she's had to family since leaving her own, basically, and especially after the trials, having someone leave is kind of reminding her just how alone she feels right now. I also fear that she's not going to be the first one to pull away.
The feeling is very neutral. I think it's been sort of very well established that Krabitooth and Kovak have a very deeper bond, more of a familial nature. A kinship, I guess, not just because they're both green, but
That helps.
yeah, it definitely helps. You know, it's an icebreaker. But he knew when he made the decision in the moment that he just needed to go, that this was going to be the hardest part. And he hates to admit when he's right in this instance, but he's right. I think he's going to let it sit for another few minutes, and is eventually going to let go when he notices that the sun's rising, right?
No, it's setting.
Okay. He's going to let go slowly, but he's going to let go.
It takes a moment for her to actually let go of him, but eventually she does.
If things go terribly wrong, which I don't think they will, but if they do, and he hesitates for a little bit, I'll come and find you.
Her ears raise slightly, and she sniffles a little bit, and kind of tries to wipe away her like little, tears and snot, but it's not too effective, so she just kind of gives up after a moment, and she looks at Kovak, and she sniffles, and she goes, "Promise?"
And it's not an instant response. I think he thinks about it. He knows that this is a loaded thing to be doing. He knows that there's probably the idea that he might not be able to have that sort of a choice, depending on how things go. But even with all that sort of doubt and everything lingering within him, I think he's still going to muster his best attempt add a small, comforting smile. He's going to run a hand through Craggletooth's freshly washed hair. Because I'll remind you, she did take a bath before trials. I promise.
She'll take a deep breath, interspersed with another sniffle, and then hold out her pinky, expectantly. And she'll say, "You can't break a pinky promise."
It was a very dry, humorless chuckle. But he is going to extend his own pinky, and it is a comical size difference. It's like a pencil next to a Monster can. He's still going to very gently sort of, I guess, constrict isn't the word, but you know how a boa like wraps itself around?
You know how a boa constricts.
Yeah, like a boa wraps itself around something. Yeah, that's what his pinky does to hers.
And her tiny little pinky will like wrap around whatever she can, until she kind of like, the size difference, it doesn't quite work, so she just ends up like, taking his hand, wrapping her whole hand around his finger, and she'll bob it like a handshake once or twice, and then nod, kind of moving back a little bit, or moving to the side, and wiping at her face again. Gonna miff you.
Feeling is 100% mutual. Please don't think I'm doing this simply. But
No, I know it's because you hate me and you want me dead.
Yeah, okay, that's
It's
not
completely deadpan.
that's not it. Promise you that's not it. But I meant it. If there's really bad trouble, if there's something I can't handle, I'll seek you out. I know that you guys are headed for the Talons, and even then it's, no offense, it's not going to be too difficult to miss that big caravan. So
And you're not gonna wait until you're like in trouble you can't get out of.
No.
Right?
old me would have, but not me right now, at least.
She lets out a shaky breath.
He's straightened himself up, back over, finish sort of packing the last few things into that big, giant fuck-off backpack that he has. But he is very pointedly going to leave the hunting traps in the caravan, and whatever is in the armory, which I believe is just his set of chainmail that he's put on the display.
I think right before he like packs the last thing in and moves to leave, she's gonna tug his shirt a little bit, the very bottom, the hem, if you will.
He's gonna look to her.
And she's gonna roll me a perception. Oh, you feel, and he's going to feel something slide into his pocket.
Going to look Kragutooth dead in the eyes. What have you given me?
She like gives an exasperated look. Well, it was supposed to be a surprise, and she'll kind of step back, folding her arms, perturbed.
I mean, it still can be. It's not. It's not something extremely valuable of yours, is it?
Fine, extremely.
And he kind of just looks down at his shoes. They're still the winged boots, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know what's going through his head, but there was probably a part of him that thought those boots would be like able to change their size, and so he's glad to see that she still has them on.
I'm not giving you my booth, Kovak. Listen, I may like you. I don't like you that much.
No, okay, that's a good thing though, because I would have been very worried if you gave the boots.
Listen, if I'm ever like, if I'm ever being held under duress, I'll give you my booth then. Okay, that's like a signal to you that I'm under duress and you need to save me from myself. Okay?
Oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind. But he sort of puts his hand over the pocket. Looks attractive. Can I look at it now, or should I look at it when I need to?
She kind of sighs, an exasperated sigh. You know, her arms folded, huffing a little bit. Well, it would be easier for you to like know what it is now, I guess.
Gonna look in his pocket. What is it? Bubble?
Please add 1 potion of invisibility to your inventory.
Fuck's sake. Okay, I don't think they have the actual item, but I'll add a thing in the inventory that just says "Potion of Invis." He's gonna just. I think he's going to look at it and sort of just double take.
Evening, Bard.
Anyway, he's going to open his mouth to say literally anything, but then he's also going to remember that Kregeltooth is still, without this, one of the sneakiest people he's ever met. And he's just going to close his mouth and say, okay. Okay.
She's gonna pause
that
for a
was-
moment and like kind of have a little bit of a confused face. But I had 2 of them.
I did it. I forgot about that. Well, anyways, I'll take it. I'll accept it. I'm
If you didn't, I'd steal it back. So
good to know. But he's going to sling his backpack over his shoulder after putting the last final thing in, which is now the potion of invisibility. He's going to pat Kregeltooth on the head and say, "I'm going to go speak to the scribe and."
I'll be eavesdropping.
Okay.
Smile widely.
He pretends to smile, but it does not reach his eyes. But it's still genuine. It's just exasperated. But he's going to make his way out of the room and kind of shyly, I guess, approach the scribe.
Mm-hmm. He will be staring at you. You can tell that he was definitely looking in that room the whole time.
You said that when everything started that we could leave, that you weren't keeping us all here, right? I didn't imagine that.
They will nod.
And I think it is time that I don't know how long, but I think it's time for me to go my own way.
There'll be a brief pause. They will. Their expression doesn't seem to be changing as this conversation goes. They still hold that somewhat blank, slight smile on their face that they normally do. And they will say, I do not need to ask why. And I do not think you would be obligated to tell me if I did. But your decision is your own. I will not harbor judgment, nor will I mourn for too long. Know that this is a mission. This caravan is a home base, but it is still a home. Even for you, if you ever wish to return.
He's gonna take that very much at face value. Just gonna sort of give a nod. We'll see. It depends on how quickly I'm able to find the others, and it kind of trails off looking in that direction.
Indeed, it does.
You probably know exactly why I can't stay here. So I'm not going to.
My ability of precognition has waned in recent months, especially since I have met you all. That being said, I do not need precognition to have a good insight into people.
It's a single nod of his head again, and if my worst fears do come to pass, and if she does stab you in the back, I'm not going to let it slide.
I thank you for that. Though they'll look like they're about to say something, and then they won't.
He's not going to narrow his eyes or anything, but he is going to sort of just let his eyes linger on whatever the hell that was. I think right now he's a little bit too caught up in his feelings or anything to try to see into it.
He'll just shake his head.
If I come across anything along the way, I'll be sure to find a way to get the information to you. I know what we have to do now, or what, I guess, the mission is. So if I hear anything about any of the artifacts or him or anything, I'll find some way to pass it along to you.
Understood. I appreciate that. Your commitment is... Ashton couldn't think of the right word. I almost said negligible.
I thought there was a character named Ashton, I just fucking forgot about it. I'm like, huh?
Your commitment is commendable. I appreciate you very much, Kovak.
Good to know that someone here does, and not just any sort of nods back towards where Graggletooth is. Or where Graggletooth was. She could be somewhere else for all he knows. He wouldn't know.
I think Crackletooth is like peeking, peeking out out from the door, and as Kovak looks back, he'll see her mouth close, as if she was about to say something, but then stopped. Most likely in protest of the Bubble is blanking on whatever you just said. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, but
Well, Kovak, I am... In all of my years, one fact has been made very apparent to me. Retrospect is always much clearer after the fog is dissipated. I am certain you will be fine.
Comforting to hear from you. And for what it is worth, I'm not leaving because I don't trust you. You were actually one of the very first people here that I found I could trust. And the fact that you're not trying to keep me here, the fact that you're not wrapping golden chains around my neck helps. Because I know you wouldn't do that.
We will nod.
But, I made a few promises to a few different people, and I intend to keep them. One of them is helping as much as I can still, even though I will be going my own way.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be with her in the same room, not now, at least. And what is needed for me to feel comfortable about the idea anymore is a complete and utter, a change overnight. And I think you and I both know that that doesn't happen.
Can you make an insight check for me?
And what the shit, man?
Okay. Scribe will just nod.
Man, we love an understanding king. Just gonna give one last deep sort of a bowing nod of the head. He's going to make his way up.
Mm-hmm. Gonna make your way outside. Well, right before you come out, I'll sort of jump around to any of those. It looks like, Cassie, did you want to interact with Foylan? Or are you just waiting?
Oh yeah, like Cass was probably like going over to Foylan, like very uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that, Foylan and Kovok, they like have this sort of like bond between them. Cassian does not know like how Kovok feels towards them at the minute, and they don't know if that will translate over to Foylan, so they've been very like cautious to say go over to Foylan, like just to check on him.
Yeah.
But they are waiting for Kovok.
Roll animal ending or insight.
Okay.
I think they're both the same for you. But
Are they?
they are.
Animal jandling.
Are. I'll do insight.
Yeah.
Wolf to wolf. God damn it.
Do you want to use your inspiration?
Do I have inspiration?
Yeah, you had it this whole time.
Have I? Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Gotcha.
So she has to give yourself inspiration. Why didn't you do that before? Goofy.
I don't know, I thought
Yeah.
the DM does that. I thought the DM did his fucking job!
That's crazy.
That's
This guy.
crazy.
I love you, DM.
That's it. I'm killing Argyle. I had this
No.
cool thing I was gonna give you, and now I'm not gonna give it to you anymore.
Rat
Crazy
blender.
how that works. Rat blender. I do actually have something I need to give Mop by the end of the session. Remind me if I forget.
Okay.
But you can kind of tell, as I mentioned before, Foylan is very playful when not in the throes of combat. And various other things. But they are basically just like a soldier. And normally in moments like this, they would be very much like willing to mess around and be silly about it with anyone, including you. And they are more or less being as professional as possible.
Mhm.
They are not. If you like try and talk to them, they will notice you, but they will not pay you any mind.
Right, okay. That makes sense.
And I think, did you two want to do anything, or are you guys just waiting?
Moppet's just kind of hanging out next to Maya, just kind of looking down at her feet.
Maya is. She's kind of just around. And she doesn't really hold much conversation or anything. She's just waiting.
Gotcha.
See what Kovak does.
In that case, you will walk outside Kovak.
Mop is a blubbering mess, by the way.
Yeah, I think he is going to glance sidelong at Mob. and his expression is flat. He looks him up, and there is a twinge of regret, but then he immediately shifts his eyes slightly to the right, and he's just full of every emotion that you can think. Don't even know if I would be looking his way, but I think he's going to stare at her for a few seconds, unintentionally.
She's staring right at him. Her arms are crossed. She doesn't say anything. Her arms are crossed. She's kind of just waiting. Her expression, though, is just unreadable.
Mhm. It's just
If
gonna-
you want to look into that, you can, but
No, I feel like he'd be just a little too just set in his ways.
yeah.
He's going to avert his eyes and make his way up to Foylan. But is going to be able to, thanks to his vantage point, see Cassian. And while he's like setting his backpack down on Foylan and making sure that it can like sort of be not like tied to a part of Foylan, but like tied around, sort of like a not like a saddle, a bag, but it's a weird sort of a thing. It makes sense. Yeah, kind of. But just to make it so he doesn't have to carry it all the time. But he's going to look over at Cassian as he does that.
When Kovak looks at them, their like head lowers and they take like a small step back.
I'm not upset with you.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why. I just told you I was not upset with you.
Yeah, but they're like bringing their hands together. They're like shifting their weight like to the other foot. I didn't mean it when I said that maybe it would be best if we all split up.
You know, finish sort of strapping the backpack to Foylan, is going to hop off in the caravan. I know. Because you're right. Probably isn't the best idea. For most of you, at least. But for me, I have some things I need to work out. You know what I'm talking about. I think you're the only person that really does know. But
They nod.
seeing as you're also the only person that knows about it, you know why I can't ignore having someone that I can't fully trust around me. And he sort of glances to where Maya is. There's a horse in the way, but you know.
I think he's
The
telling
general-
you to look over the fucking horse.
Maybe, but like the general direction. Just so Cassian understands that he's not talking about him. Well, to them,
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
No, you're so fine. They nod. They know exactly what he's referring to. So it's just a trip then? Like you'll come back, right?
Yes. When everything is said and done, and hopefully by then things will be different. I hope in a good way. I hope that maybe she can come around and understand that, you know. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that now, but I also did promise that if things get terribly bad, that I would seek help. But
You guess finish what was started.
I do, and I don't want to drag all of you around with it because you've already been in enough. Your own house was I killed someone in your house, and I feel kind of bad only because it was your house.
Their jaw sets when he says that, and they completely like avoid his gaze. That place stopped being a home years ago.
Just going to nod.
A year ago.
Yeah, there's a nod of understanding, but it also just doesn't help that there's bandits on the way into the city of Sugal. It doesn't help that, I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb. The Sahuagin weren't there for the rest of you. Going to assume it's tied in. And so to that end, I hope that it at least takes a little bit of pressure off of all of you. But you all have different things that you're needing each other's support on. And while I would appreciate the help, I also cannot accept the help and then also be skeptical of it at the same time. It's something that I can't do. The last two of the only people that I've ever really gotten close to, because I put my trust in the wrong person, and for that reason I can't do that again.
When he says that, their hand like absent-mindedly lifts and it like hovers like over their chest for a moment. And they're gonna just nod. If it gets bad, you can like if you're in real bad trouble, you can come back to us and we can help.
If I was Kraggletooth, I would do that. But I'm not going to be breaking those anytime soon. Just gonna very momentarily think back to his trials. But he tries to sort of just push himself through that. If she has a change of mind, if she ever actually admits that what Josiah did to us was wrong, let me know.
Yeah.
I know it's a little bit of an odd request, but gonna sort of just very precariously balance the heavy crossbow on Flaylin's back, because he's still been holding it. And is instead going to just hold both of his arms out to Cassian.
They're gonna instantly like fall into his arms and they're like grabbing onto his back and they start like sobbing into his shoulder.
Yeah, it's probably poignant. It's poignant to mention that part of the cape / poncho is also already a little bit wet. Thanks, Kraggletooth. Love you.
The designated
You're welcome.
crying shoulder.
Yeah, but he's going to hang on to Cassian for a minute or two, roundabout. Again, either until Cassian lets go first, or he will after a set bit of time in his head.
They will let go eventually, but before they do, they're like gonna mutter under their breath. Please don't die.
I have no intentions of doing that. Not after everything that we've been through, not after everything that happened on the Isles. I've got no intentions of being stupid or dying.
Because I've already watched so many people die, Kovok, and I don't want you to be one of them too.
Man. Yeah. Good. I think he's going to put both of his hands on. Oh, yeah, move both of his hands up to Cassian's shoulders because I think he's still like he held onto him while he hugged him, and he's still doing that because Cassian hasn't completely pulled away yet. But just that sort of a affirming hold on his shoulders. Again, I have no intentions of being reckless. Got the job to do, and I want to see it done. And we're still going to be working towards the same outcome. That will keep me going. I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm not going to put myself in situations I know are bad. And if you need me to, I will promise.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
Still sorry for shouting at you, Kovok.
It happens. I'm guilty of that myself. But I'm not upset and I'm not angry. I'm not bitter about that.
They're gonna like suck in like a deep breath and they're gonna lean forward for a moment just to like bump their forehead into Kovok's shoulder before they reluctantly let him go and take like a very small step back.
I think Kovok's then going to move on over. It's going to mount up on the big dog.
Mm-hmm.
Big dog.
A scribe will walk out. Just to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
He knows. Yeah, he knows.
I think Craggletooth will hop up on the railing and give Kovok like one more hug from behind.
And Kovok's going to lean back into it.
I'm just
Don't
gonna wave
lie.
at him.
And Kovok will wave back.
Argyle will also wave.
And
Yeah,
he will wave back.
Of course, I'm fucking.
He will absolutely wave back. Yeah, but
I think, right, like as he's kind of walking up, Craggletooth will, I think, flick his ear, and then Misty Step away to
Oh.
this side
okay,
and stick
well,
her tongue out at him.
he's going to roll his eyes, playfully, of course, but
Of course.
yeah, I mean, I think he's content. I think he said everything he needs to. With that, he's gonna make his way
Mm-hmm.
probably back towards Newport, all things considered, but
Yeah.
that is where he physically departs.
For the sake of simplicity, I am going to change Kovok to neutral and make him invisible. Can you still control him?
Yes.
Yeah. That way, if you want to actually see what's happening on maps, you could be there.
Yippee!
And nobody can see him. I don't think. As Kovok starts to ride away, The scribe will clear his throat and will say, "All right, everybody, get in. We have work to do." And we'll
I'll
turn around.
look in the direction that he left and go inside. Argyle leads the way.
Mm-hmm. Biscuits will run up and rub against your legs and then skitter inside.
Yeah.
Love biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy cat. I think as Cass is like walking in, they're gonna like open their arms out for Biscuits to see if Biscuits will let them lift her up.
No.
Okay, that's so fair.
I'm so sorry. Biscuits isn't gonna like deny it. You will just open your arms and then she will rub against you and then move this way.
Okay, well honestly, that's better than nothing.
Yeah. The
I think Cass
mood
is gonna...
the mood of cat has to be determined by a D20. Jump up here.
They're gonna
I guess
look
are we
up over
going
here.
anywhere like for a little bit, or I guess it's nighttime in it.
The scribe will immediately, like, once everybody is on, will start to move the caravan.
Okay. Since it's about nighttime, Mom will get ready for bed, but she will take her blanket and stuff and fall under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just kind of sleep down there.
You all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think tonight is a very quiet night. The scribe will prepare some food for you all to eat, for those that are willing to. But he does not talk to any of you unless he's spoken to first, and unless you wish to have any conversations, you're simply just gonna go to bed.
I'm gonna have Amaya. She is more than likely gonna ignore everybody, and then I'm gonna put her right here, but she's going on the roof.
Oh, okay. She will be on the roof.
The roof.
Wonderful.
She's going on the roof.
The roof.
Wonderful.
I think for that night, Cass is gonna like head outside, and shift to the wolf form and go for like one of their nightly runs.
Sure. Absolutely.
So they're gone.
Is Crackletooth doing anything specific? I have something for you, Mop, and Amaya, but what about Crackletooth?
Yay!
Oh wow. I think. Hang on. I think Crackletooth is probably going to be sitting out on the front porch. Which is, you know, a change of pace from her typically being on the back porch, but she's probably like perching on the edge right there and just kind of looking back to where Kovak left.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The night will continue onward. I'm going to change the song because it's nighttime now.
I love nighttime.
Love
It's
nighttime.
when
It is nighttime.
Nothing bad ever
nighttime.
happened in the night.
That's right.
And I think... I think that we'll go with Mop first. Mop, you are having trouble sleeping. You are constantly waking up and looking around your room, and nobody else is here. They are all out doing their own things, of which you are not aware of. Generally, you are just kind of caught up in a lot right now. It did not pick up on the mic, I wish it did.
What was that?
The tavern cat.
My cat just woke up and her little bell went off.
No, I didn't hear it.
Oh, she's coming. Hello. You gonna come on my lap?
No,
I heard that.
there it is.
The Kibby.
Can Mop roll a wisdom save for me?
Okay.
Oh no.
I wonder what that's about. Wisdom save.
Yeah, wisdom save.
Okay.
Penny?
Yeah, your dog did not like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Penny did not like that. She fucked up my roll. Good job, Penny.
You were wisdom saving for the dog.
something is picking at your brain slightly. You are upset, reasonably so, after everything that's happened. You've had probably the most stressful week of your life. Well, maybe second most stressful. I don't know. It's been
Possibly.
pretty bad.
Entirely possible.
It's been pretty bad all around. And what is Mop's... I suppose, what is Mop thinking in this moment?
Well, she's thinking about Kolva. She's thinking about the people that are at the telebeams right now. She's thinking about Amaya. We're hoping Amaya's okay as well. But also, once she starts thinking about Amaya, then it goes back to Kovok. It's a blender. It's a real blender.
There is this animosity that's been built up, and Mop can't help but feel that if there was just an understanding, that things would be better. And that Mop wants to help people. Mop wants to help them do this. And something will begin to stir lightly in your pack.
Mop will reach in.
You will pull out the book, the Archon's analog, wrapped in leather to keep it shut. You've modified it slightly so you can open it, of course.
Yeah.
It is humming slightly with power.
What would this about? Can I figure out why it's humming?
Roll Arcana.
Okay. Yippee!
19. You've heard of magical items like these in the past, where they are artifacts of great power, and yet when people get a hold of them, they aren't really what they're cracked up to be. And that is because of several wards, or sometimes back in the day, the very old days of the, oh god, I forgot, the Accordan Empire. Sometimes there was literal sentience put into these things to allow them to adapt with their user. For one reason or another. Maybe the person who made it felt that whoever used it after them needed to be worthy. Maybe the power would be genuinely too much and would just kill them if they used it while they were inexperienced. But it almost feels like there is a section of the book that is calling out to your desire to help, to understand.
Okay. I guess, is it like a part of the... Is it like an actual part of the book, like pages?
Yeah.
Right. Mop will flip to those pages.
You will open the book, and pages in which you hadn't decoded yet will become more clear to you. This arcane language that you've been adopting while reading this book and studying it are becoming more visible and understandable by you. And by reading the book, there are sections in which you begin to read aloud. And bits of the arcane language, imperceptible to most people, will begin to make its way onto your natural speech in your everyday sentences. And so, you are going to gain expertise in persuasion and deception. Which doesn't seem like the deceptive type, but that's just what you get.
Yeah.
And additionally, you will gain you will be able to use the spell Charm Person as if it was a cantrip, as in no spell slot required.
Oh wow.
And once per long rest, you may cast the spell Charm Monster.
Oh wow.
Lil Mo.
Let me do
Well, that seems devilish.
Charm
I love Mop.
Person
That
and
seems
Oh,
absolutely
Charm
devilish. I'm not sure if I like that.
Monster.
What?
There you go.
Question.
I put them under wizard effects for you.
Question
Mm-hmm.
about Charm Person.
Yes.
Actually, let me just look at the details on it.
Okay.
Where is it?
I put it in your wizard effects at the bottom.
Okay. Hang on. Okay, it's 30 feet. Can't use it. I can't use it while sending. That would be really cool. I suppose with this sort of change of events, Mop will clear her head, kind of try her best to clear her head, and focus on what needs to be done.
Yeah.
At
Well-
least what she perceives to be done. We'll just cast Sending.
Okay. And I'll ask you to cast it on a second, but
Okay, go ahead.
that's something I don't know if Mop notices. After you delve deeper and this arcane language kind of becomes one with your own and your everyday speech, it feels really easy to concentrate. Really easy to just hone in and understand things more.
Oh my god, homegirl took a Xanax. Holy fuck.
No.
Finally. Holy
Um,
shit. It's happening. We're getting medicated, baby.
Who do you cast sending to?
I cast Sending on 2 seconds.
On who?
Give me 1 second, please.
Oh, okay.
On you remind me which of the Televine is the oldest?
The sister, Celine. Is that her name?
I'll
Celine?
cast it on
Celine?
I think it's Celine.
I believe it's
She'll
Celine.
cast
Televine.
Sending on Celine.
You made them up.
I don't know what you
Yeah,
mean by
I
that.
don't know. I didn't. Yeah. And we'll say hi. It's Mop. Please pay your staff and let them leave. Peacefully. And I think that's the end of cast. That's the end of Sending.
Okay. I think there's a minute before a response. They definitely weren't expecting to hear from you. And you will receive back, "You worthless little runt. You do not command me. You are mine. It's due time I remind you of that."
Oh! Oh no!
So good. If you don't want to kill her, I will. Like,
You're
I
gone!
mean,
If you want to kill her, I will.
I'm just saying
will
when we
fucking
get to
kill
the
them.
when we get to session like 120, right? If you don't want Mob to kill them, I will. I'm just saying.
We all kill them.
Yeah.
Please.
Can I roll
Can
we-
persuasion?
Can we commit noble genocide in the future?
What are you...
Noble genocide!
Kill the noble.
Roll persuasion.
I'm
Hmm.
joking, of course. Get him.
No, I don't think this is applicable here, You could have made an argument for intimidation if Mop went down that route, but...
Pretty please, pretty please.
Just annoy the shit out of them.
But yeah. Is that all you wish to do with that? For now.
What time is it? Would you say roughly in the night?
Oh, probably like 11 p.m. Maybe midnight.
Oh, hot damn! We are good ways out for breakfast. I will wait until the morning to do anything. So you go ahead. Give me a little speech thing, okay?
Gotcha. I think I'll move to Amaya on the roof.
Amaya on the roof.
Yeah. What are you doing up here?
So, after the whole ordeal of everything that kind of just happened, she is just on the roof. At first, when it was still sunset and Kovac had just freshly left and everyone was still freshly sobbing, she was kind of just sitting there. But now, as the night starts to grow a bit more, she's sort of just pacing. She doesn't exactly want to go down to the caravan and go to bed just yet. But her frustration and bitterness kind of just grew more and more, and it's started to mess with her a little bit, especially after the conversation she had with herself in the trial of Ard, and a whole trial actually to begin with. So she's just up there. She's either fidgeting with the necklace that SC gave her, or messing with the gauntlets, which I assume she still has on.
Mm-hmm.
Or just pacing, trying to pass the time and make herself tired, or just whatever.
Mm-hmm. You will pace up there for a minute. I'm gonna roll a thing. Okay. Okay. I think after a moment, you will see on one side of the roof, the scribe is just sitting there.
Oh,
He's not looking at you. They're just looking out as the caravan moves and hits little bumps in the road. But they're just there.
they kind of just appear, and she just... I assume that she has her back turned when they appear, and then she turns around and she sees them kind of just there, and she's just like, audibly, she's like, oh, what the fuck?
They will
She...
look over to you for a moment. And they will say,
8.
I am not here to bother you. I am not here to listen. I am just here to sit.
You're just as bad as Craggletooth with that. Sneaking or whatever.
I suppose I am. Perks of being not quite alive, I suppose.
Perks of being dead, it sounds like.
That's
if you're
the
not quite
perspective.
alive.
Well, there is a spectrum to many things, Amaya. Even death is one of them.
She kind of doesn't say anything beyond that. She paces a bit, and then after a while, she just ends up just growing more and more irritated. So she sits down on the roof. At least a few feet away from the scribe. and she doesn't know what to make of the situation. Because she still believes that she has some sort of rightness to her. But the way that everyone is reacting, it's not necessarily the most normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just irritated her the most, really, out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of looks over to the scribe, expecting them to do or say something. But then she... Sorry.
You're
But
okay.
then she just... my phone is so loud.
Girl,
She
turn off
notices
your
that they're
Tinder.
just
God
up
damn.
there to... She just sits. She notices that the scribe doesn't do anything and kind of keeps true to their word of just wanting to relax up here. And so she just sits.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, she'll try to make conversation, I think, because I just realized now that they never actually really talked since session 1.
Mm-hmm.
So you just let him go after all of that. You don't try to reason with him or anything? Even though he seems very valuable to you and this whole operation you're planning?
I have been doing this for 20,000 years. I have told people that their cities, their families, everything they know and love will die if they don't listen to me. And some listen for a time, but eventually they all distrust me. I cannot force someone to be safe if they refuse to be so themselves. Additionally,
Can you blame?
he is of no value to me. None of you are. Not in the sense that I don't appreciate you or anything like that. I didn't come to you because you were convenient or because you were necessary. I came to you because I saw potential. That potential does not need to be harnessed. And we'll stop.
Can you blame those people, though? You've had this sort of air around you that everything you say goes, and let's say, hypothetically, yes. You go to a town, tell them that if they don't do a certain thing, that they're going to die. Can you blame them, though, for not listening to you? I mean, to what I know of you, you just show up out of thin air, tell people about these prophecies. These people don't even know you. We don't know you, and yet... I guess I just don't understand.
I did blame them for a time, but I stopped. It is outlandish, and unfortunately, the only way that they know I am right is after it's too late. I do not speak under the assumption that what I say goes, Amaya. I have literally seen what will happen. I have seen the end of countless lives, countless people, and I have tried to help them, and they have not let me. I understand, though. I do understand. But for the first time in all of those 20,000 years, people listened. And it was when I needed them to the most. I don't know why or how. Maybe it's their upbringing, maybe very bad things happened to them, but 4 people truly trust me for the first time in a very long time. He will stop.
Surely, though, you would have had more people to rely on.
He will shake his head.
And surely. No. It's just been you.
When my goddess became a goddess, we all had our own jobs to fill. I won't bore you with the details of everyone, but mine was unique. Mine was to persist, to analog, to scribe. All of my friends, anyone I've ever loved, they are long gone. A fact I have grown far too content with. Which I do not ask for pity for, not that you would give it.
Surely you've been doing this for 20,000 years. You would be able to see maybe of the outcome of, you know. But surely you saw this coming.
You'll have to be more specific. This conversation, Kolvok's leaving, this entire situation.
I don't know, just... I don't know. This caravan? Us? I mean, did you foresee Kovak leaving? And that's why you didn't do anything about it? Do you know something else? Do you know that... what's gonna happen with all of us, or... I find it hard to believe that somebody who's been doing this for at least 20,000 years just can't do it so easily anymore.
Divination is an incredibly fragile magic. No matter what any seer of the future will tell you, they cannot see exactly what is going to happen. The future is like a winding river, constantly branching and breaking into various pathways that it will eventually lead to one outcome. Normally one can see those from overhead, but my goddess's power is waning, and so is mine as a result. She is channeling what she has left into those more suited to assist her. I am no longer viewing the river as if I was flying above it. I am riding down the rapids in nothing but a wooden cart and an oar. But I've been doing this for a long time. I have a base intuition of these things. So to answer your question, no. I did see you 5 before I met you, very briefly before. I did not know Kovak was going to leave, but I assumed he would at one point or another. It's in his nature. And they look like they're about to say something. And you have a passive insight enough for me to tell you that they've started talking and they're rambling, and so they're not really paying attention to their words. And they're about to say something just off the cuff, haphazardly, and then they will stop themselves.
Amaya kind of looks at him and looks as he talks. And she's trying to grasp onto what he's saying. However, there are a few times in where Amaya has to think to herself, oh my god, what is bro yapping about? But the scribe mentions one thing, and he says that they all, whenever he goes through visions, they all lead up to one point, one end.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of puts Amaya off. But hold on. The thing is, though, visions and clairvoyancy and divination, they can lead to more than one path. It just happened. I was able to see and do something more than once to get a different outcome than just simply see multiple different outcomes and only have to pick one.
They will nod and smile and say, the future is just as fragile as the magic which foresees it, is malleable. There are things I would love to tell all of you about, but I can't, because then they wouldn't happen. And what you've just described is one of those things. You saw a future you didn't like, and so you changed it. I think you misunderstood me somewhat. Pathways will lead to one outcome. It's just a matter of which one you want. And your skill as a diviner is how you can get there.
That still doesn't add up to me. When we were going after Nelra, I kept having visions beforehand that Kovak was going to die. And he did, for a moment. I tried to chain whatever was going to go after him, those boulders of rock and splitting wood. It would have collapsed on him and it would have killed him. And then my magic just didn't work. And then everything went back, and I was just told to try again. It didn't feel like divination. It didn't feel like I was having a vision. It felt like it actually just happened. That's what I mean by there's more than one outcome, because I feel like that just happened. That stuff just doesn't happen normally, but why did it happen now?
As you describe this, he will look surprised and almost happy for a moment. And will say, I understand now. Though, something else happened there. You don't need me to tell you that. You understand that. I don't know if I can tell you what did happen, though. I don't think you would. He stops.
Would what?
The gods are fickle. Not just Inauguros or his pantheon, even mine. Any god can be fickle. There is not much I can tell you because, frankly, I don't think you would listen to me. But I think that there are questions about your divinity that must be answered.
I don't think I'll be able to answer them here, though, is the thing.
He seems kind of surprised by that answer. You can tell he expected something a lot harsher. And he will stand. And he will say, would you like to know the answer?
How... She's gonna kind of scrunch her nose at that. Yeah, how... What kind of fucking cryptic are you gonna be with your answers?
He will chuckle. Not from me. I cannot give you an answer. But I know where you can find them.
She kind of just raises an eyebrow. So where would I find an answer then?
They will think for a moment and say, there are many places, all within Falana, which the answers to your questions lie. Some of which are closer than you might seem. Some of which are in places far too dangerous that you would deem willing to go to.
You start talking about the wound like Cassian did on the boat, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
I'm not mentioning a specific place on purpose. I think if I told you where exactly, you would avoid it altogether. So, and you don't have to answer now, but I'm going to ask something of you that everybody else has provided. And they will hold out their hand to you while you are sitting, and they will say, I want you to trust me.
Question.
One
Why?
answer. It's quite a vague question. Why should you trust me?
Suppose. If that's what you make of that question. But questions come with vague answers too, so.
Because I have had every opportunity to betray you. And I haven't. I have had every opportunity to mislead you. And I haven't. Everything I told you has been 100% truthful. And if I can't tell you something, I'm very upfront about it. When you were the most misunderstood by the people you looked up to, I offered you sanctuary. That is why you should trust me.
Mentions those reasons, and when they get to the time in where Amaya was excommunicated, her face just goes sour. She's kind of cringing at that moment in where she could have done better to not get herself excommunicated and potentially not be labeled a treasonite, but then she also thinks of the trial again and how getting into the temple is going to be a lot harder than she thinks it's going to be. And all she can just really think about is each of the times in where Josiah just looked down on her, and she does not feel good. Feels more bitter than anything. But then she'll eventually look up to the scribe. And I think they can tell that she doesn't trust them. At least not fully. But I think she's also has this idea that she's just not going to get anywhere if she doesn't try. So she's going to just, with a big deal of hesitation, just take their hand and stand up.
Mm-hmm. And they will smile. Very well. It is late. If you wish to stay up here, you can. I will leave you to your peace and quiet.
Yeah, I'm still reeling about everything that just happened. How Koba can just be incredibly stubborn, but
As if you aren't.
oh, thanks. You're really helpful, you know. She kind of just she's just
Love you,
oh
Ellie.
sarcasm.
Love you, Ellie. I'm gonna kick her ass myself. I'm crossing dimensions to kick her ass.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we're all a stubborn group, so I'm just gonna stay up here though and I don't know, think about it more. I don't know what I'm supposed to be thinking about, but I don't think I'm gonna go to bed right now.
Understood. Your life is your own. I will be out and about.
Right. I'll be up here.
And they will disappear.
How the fuck do they do that?
Which
Witch!
Are you two up front just like talking? It seems like you guys already did a lot of the roleplay in the side chat there.
I think they're both just quiet at this point. Yeah.
Gotcha. I will let that simmer then. The rest of you will eventually get to bed, or not.
One more thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Mapu cast sending one more time for long rest.
Okay.
good use. Good use.
Optimization.
She will cast sending on Kobok.
On Kovak?
Yeah.
Gotcha. What do you say?
I say, good night. I'm going to bed. I'll keep on with you. Good night. Whenever I can.
And I
I think
I'm gonna do some description. That message goes out as you four begin to teeter off to bed at one point or another, where we see Kovak. Kovak, where are you?
the outskirts of Newport. I think in the moments immediately after he'd left, he doubled back around as he watched the caravan go and kind of made sure that it managed to cross over the bridge towards Manor Black safely. And once he was sure that they'd made it across, he sort of, turns his way back into Newport. And to say that there's a lot going on in his mind is a bit of an understatement. But I think Kovak is also extraordinarily tired. And so to that extent, he's going to sort of look for any sort of a place that looks like it's abandoned or run down, or like a place that looks like no one's been in there except for like mice and termites. And if he's able to find a place like that, he'll probably see what he can do to make it a temporary stay over. If he can't find a place like that, then he'll probably set up like a small little camp on the outskirts of Newport.
There are some alleyways that are open and available, perhaps a stand from the market that was left out overnight. In terms of places that are abandoned, Newport, unfortunately, is pretty lively.
I see. There's no property investors. All right, well.
Not anymore. Believe it or not, there was a select group of people whose entire purpose for the past year has been to make sure this place is as livable as possible.
That's crazy. Determinist. Anyway, and okay. Well, in that respect, then I think he's going to set up a little campsite. You kind of on the outskirts of Newport, in a quieter, smaller clearing, away from, like, in a place that he's made sure is a little bit out of the way and also not in immediate danger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tiny little fire, and he's sort of just sat next to it, and he's eating what is basically the equivalent of hardtack.
Yeah. Basic rations.
It is nutritious. That is it. It is not good. It's not a good texture. It's not tasty. It's nutrients, and I think as he sort of just sits next to that fire and just sort of tries to warm up a little bit, because I imagine it's probably a little bit chilly. Not super, but
Yeah, it's just
just a little
nighttime.
bit. Yeah, he's gonna sort of just. He's gonna frown. I think eating that shitty hardtack reminds him a lot of
Oh, should have
Mop.
get granola.
reminds him a lot of Mop.
Should have got
Um,
trim.
and how much he misses the home cooking, the hot meals.
Bet you wish you had a handful of princes.
Shut up. Shut up. No, but he definitely misses that and kind of reminds himself of the fact that he is doing the same shit that he was doing before the temple, but after the massacre, I guess is the good way to put it. He's living the same exact way. He just looks miserable. I don't think anyone's skulking around, but if anyone is, it's just safe to say he looks despondent. I think for a brief moment. Knowing that the hours have passed, he doesn't quite know exactly what part in the night it is, but he still kind of just. He looks up to try to find the moon, wherever it is.
You could see it hanging above in the sky. Not me. Una memento. Whenever I stream, it's so hard to open up my documents. I'm a fool. Campaigns. There we go. Open bean campaigns. Did you know I'm a stupid dum-dum?
No.
It's entirely possible.
It's entirely possible. Man, I need to move some stuff around. Sorry. I did move it,
While you do
man.
that-
I'm a freak.
While you do
game.
that.
Yeah.
While you do that, I will be right back. Give me a sec.
Absolutely. Ellie, I've moved around the Lunora stuff and I don't fucking know where I put it.
Oh, do you want me to send you the link?
Where did I put it? What the fuck? Hold on. Lack of love. Is it in here? Am I just stupid? It's not. It's just it's just not here anymore. I don't know where my folder's gone. Oh, under gods and such. Man, I'm stupid. Alright, I found
Nice.
it. It's literally under the folder titled gods. I'm a freak. Thank you though.
Okay.
I found it.
Hey.
Eh.
Hey.
So, I believe I remember back on it was this one. It would be that one. Yeah, that tracks. It's only been a few days since the last time the moon was mentioned, and that one was a waxing gibbous, meaning it is a full moon.
5 minutes. Bro, make up a
Easy.
moon cycle. No, I'm joking.
I think he's gonna stare at the moon for a little bit. And then he's gonna look down at the little emblem that he has. The little eye with the new/full moon, depending on when it's in operation or not.
Mm-hmm. Looking at it to make sure.
I think there's gonna be. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a brief moment where he sort of just pushes away this deep-seated feeling of regret. It's there, and he can't actually get past it as much as he tries. But he is going to he's going to reach into his backpack. He is going to pull out this small little brown notebook.
Roll a perception check for me. Okay. You don't notice the ring.
Yeah, no, I don't notice shit. He's gonna pull out the little notebook and he's going to look at the front page. It's the only page with writing. It's a very simple notebook. There's no like lines or anything drawn in it. Just simple paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even still, on that very first page, there are 4 names written in common. Very shaky, very scratched common. And it reads, the very top, Thogloth. Second, Dermin. Third, Krolk. And fourth, Creek. He's gonna grab one of the crossbow bolts. Probably out of the actual heavy crossbow itself. He's gonna like disengage the mechanism and just grab it, and then he's gonna lightly scratch out. He's probably gonna rip the paper, to be honest, but he doesn't give a shit. He hasn't used a notebook before, but he's gonna scratch out Creek. And he's gonna mutter under his breath. Probably should have gotten the quill. Whatever, it's fine. And he just like he commits and he just rips through the page entirely with the bolt where Creek's name is. Just like, it's fitting, I think, but and he's gonna just stare at the 3 remaining names. He's only seen one of them so far in the past month. And as much as he wants to say that he's capable, as much as he wants to say that he knows he can do it on his own and take him on again, he would be lying to himself. Because every single person saw what happened to him with one hit. Yeah, it'd be futile for him to try it again. The other 2 are still just as incognito as they were before. I think he's gonna just sort of take a deep breath in, another one out. And close the book. Set it off to the side. Okay. Tomorrow I get Quill and look for these 2 when he mentally looks. He glances back over and he mentally glances between Damon and Krog. Where's Foylan?
He's here. He's probably
Okay.
sleeping next to the fire, next to you.
I'm glancing over at Foylan. Again, another reminder. But this time of Cassian, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna purse his lips and scoot himself slightly over, set the bedroll nearby to Foylan, at the very least, and just start to very slowly ease himself back into it. But notably, he's not doing his normal routine of, doffing the armor and setting everything to the side that he used to do when he was in the caravan. He's sleeping in full armor and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not happy about it.
And as you begin to sort of lay down for a couple minutes, you move back and forth trying to find some kind of comfortability in your armor, and you can't. And when you become, I guess, complacent with it, and just begin to close your eyes, you hear Mop say goodnight to you.
The response is not immediate. From Kovok, there's about 10 seconds, I want to say, Shasta, of dead air.
Yeah, alright.
But Kovok does eventually respond and says, "Good night, Mop. You'll be okay." And then he lays his head back into the bedroll. He just stares at the moon for a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. And I think...
And sort of,
Oh, please.
in his own head, is just hoping that maybe somehow the moon can hear his thoughts and is going to keep an eye on the others. But regardless, you know,
Mm-hmm.
he has things that he needs to work out, and he knows that he's going to do that, and he's stubborn about it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Roll me a D100. Man, you did that shit fast. And you needed a
Holy
high number,
fuck.
too. Yeah.
Wild.
Motherfucker.
That's
Wild.
Hey, bitch, what's good?
And that one
How we
needed to be
doing?
high. That one needed to be high, too. The next one needs to be low.
get it.
Fuck.
Oh, shit, I was just gonna do something quick and small.
Yeah, fuck you.
I think when you go to bed tonight, you have a dream that is less of a dream and more of a recollection. You are sitting down with Perisandre. I believe that's the one.
Yeah.
And sort of absent-mindedly going about your business, hearing her talk about, you know, Lunanora. To you, conversations that you never paid too much attention to because they, you know, didn't really concern you too much. There's a moment though.
Like an attentive boyfriend, but he's not registering it very well, you know.
Yeah. And there's a moment when she is talking in which she kind of falls away and this past Kovok becomes present Kovok. And you are sitting alone on a cliffside, staring over. The moon is infinitely bigger than it was before. It is full. There's nothing but a vast ocean in which it reflects off of beneath it. And you hear Perisandre say, "This one's actually one of my favorites. It's the importance of connection. That's why the full moon is so wonderful to me." And I think that's where we'll end the session.
God damn it.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow. Motherfucker, you didn't even hesitate for that one. You were just like, yep, that's it.
Yep. Didn't even let me get up. Let me get up. Yo. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
funny.
God damn.
Well, what a very lovely RP session. We will have a bit more. We're not going to have combat for a while, I don't think. There's just a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll have to see.
Okay.
As you
We
guys
get
are
to
moving.
talk about our
Our
feelings.
feelings. Something to note, I wanted to let you guys know this as well, because I let my muddy slumber people know. From April 21st to May 10th, I am going to be helping with the play. I don't know what time on Saturdays, but I know that I will be helping on Saturdays. So it is possible, unfortunately, that we won't have D&D for 3 whole weeks.
What?
Well, then you better
Oh.
leave us on a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
I will.
Don't
No.
do that.
I will.
No.
It's perfect. It's a good idea.
No.
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 Yeah.
No.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Just why?
Thank you for the
Yes, you
lovely
were.
suggestion.
No problem.
Let me see. There'd be this there.
Yep.
Okay, I'd have about 3 sessions to set up a cliffhanger. That. Oh wait, no, that's when that would happen. Okay, yeah, it's perfect.
Aw.
Fuck off.
Aww.
I look at a token
Oh,
that's
I'm
been
gonna
sitting
die.
in this campaign since it started that hasn't been used yet. I smile deviously.
I stare at you.
Bastard.
What if I'll eat the chokin.
Don't eat the chokin.
No,
I don't know what a chokin is,
I'm
but
gonna
don't
What
eat
is the
it.
joking?
Token. The token.
The British people be like, it's choking, innit?
It's a
Joking
chokin.
in it.
It's a chokin.
Choking, innit?
Goodness.
Oh, I'm
Well.
so angry.
Yeah. You're also
How about-
so sick. Fix that. Be better.
I will be fine, I think.
I wonder
The
when
Lord
you'll
said,
be
let there be no D&D this weekend.
Don't you dare. No.
Wonder
no.
when you'll be
Shut-
C
shut the
again.
fuck up. Shut the
this-
fuck up!
They tried this weekend, fucking sending me into a tornado, sending Bubble to fucking Japan. Sending,
Yeah.
They can't keep us
sending the
down.
literal COVID-19 and the plague and the bubonic plague into sea. And
It's the family
also
here,
give-
chat.
and also giving Ellie the craving for a bagel, I guess. That's it. That's it, really.
I actually fully get it though, because Ellie, you and I have the same time zone. Man, 1 p.m.'s a good time for lunch though, isn't it?
Yeah, man, 1 p.m.'s a good time for breakfast.
Ellie, that's not okay.
Lack of breakfast. Lack of breakfast. This guy, dude.
I love the
Lack
mother
of
slumber
culture.
a lot. I absolutely hate that it's at 5 p.m. for me, because then I don't eat until 8, and I'm like, "Ugh." I get hangry.
Gotta eat early.
Gotta
Gotta
eat.
eat early.
Perfect.
Yeah, but then I
Where's
get
the
hungry
bed?
before I go to bed.
Ratio.
It's no nap time. Dear Shasta.
It's nap time for shit.
Yeah, just
It's not time for shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No time for shit, sir.
time for
Well-
shits and a shit.
I will go ahead and close off the stream. It's still on. I'm stupid. Have a wonderful night.